Welcome to Palladium training, which is based on how to do a Pastel data conversion. Okay, let's get started. In order for you to be able to do the data conversion, you must first attach the database in Pervasive before you can go into Palladium to import the data. Okay, so I'm now going to open my Pervasive, which is the software I'll be using to attach my database or my Pastel files. Let's wait for it to open. Okay, this is my Pervasive. So now what I'm going to do is I am now going to attach the database or the Pastel files I would like to convert into Palladium. Okay, we go there. We go to databases. We go new database. Okay, I'm just going to call it test. Conversion test. Conversion test. Okay. And then I'm going to browse to where my Pastel files are saved. Okay. So the reason why I'm getting this error is because I'm not using a licensed version of Pervasive. I'm using a trial one. So I'm just going to click on OK. But if you are using a licensed one, the moment you click on finish, it should just close the screen. Okay. So I'm just going to click on OK and click on cancel and then refresh my databases. Okay. You can see my Pastel files are there now. Okay, let me open. Okay, everything is attached properly. Okay, after attaching the database, you need to go to Tools and go to ODBC Administrator to add the database as well, so that you'd be able to access the database into Palladium. Without adding the database that I just attached there, without adding it on ODBC Administrator, please note that you won't be able to access it into Palladium. So after attaching the database, you go to Tools, ODBC Administrator, then you go to the second tab, which is called System DSN, to add it there. Okay, I'm just going to click on Add. I'm going to click on Add and choose my data source, which will be Pervasive ODBC Engine Interface. Okay. My database name is Conversion Test. Conversion test. My database name would be conversion test. Okay, the database that you see there is the one I attached there on databases. Okay, the data source name can be your company, the company name of the Pastel files that you're doing the conversion for. So in this case, it's just I'm using conversion test as an example. Okay, then you can just test if the connection is successful and click on OK. Okay, so from here, from after attaching the database and also adding it on Tools ODBC Administrator, you can now go into your Palladium to import the data. Okay, so now let's go into Palladium. Okay, let's wait for Palladium to open. Okay, once your Palladium has opened, you need to create a new company. Okay, you can't import the Pastel files into an existing company, so you need to create a new company. Conversion test, it's my company name. Okay, after putting in the name of the company, you need to go to the date settings. You can also fill in the details here if you want to, or you can always put in the company details after doing the conversion. It's not really compulsory to fill in this information now. You can do it later. The important setting on this screen is the date setting. So you need to make sure that your dates are correct. Okay. So my financial year or the tax year that I'm doing the conversion for is the current one, which is the 1st of March 2017, ending on the 28th of February 2018. The earliest transaction date would be the 1st of March 2017, which is the same date as the start date of my tax year. Okay, now I'm going to the next step. Okay, once the company information has been saved, you will no longer be able to change the country selection. Do you want to continue? So this is just a warning that you need to make sure that you select the correct base currency. Okay, so now I get to this screen. My base currency for the database I'm doing the conversion for is South African rand. Okay, choose that. And if you have any foreign currencies, then you also have to add the foreign currencies there by clicking on new, and then you add the foreign currencies that you have in that Pastel data. Okay, I go to the next step. Okay, please make sure that when you get to this step, you choose the second option because it's a conversion. So you need to choose the user-defined financial categories, and also make sure that you tick that little box, Pastel Partner Default Financial Categories. Okay. Okay, now I've created a new company. Now what I need to do is I need to import the data. Okay, you go into Control Panel in Palladium, you go to Pastel Partner Data Importer. This is the first step that you need to do. You can't go to extract before importing. You need to import the data first and then extract. Okay, now I'm going to my data importer to import the data. Okay, there's my conversion test there. It doesn't pull through automatically all the time. Okay, sometimes it will just pull through maybe the first company that you have or the first database name that you have there. Then you'll have to select the correct one. So in this case, it just pulled through automatically for me. Okay, and then the connection type, please make sure that you choose ODBC. Then the user and password would be the username and password that you always use or that you have set up for your SQL. Okay, so my user is SA. My password is system 2008 hash. Putting in there, and you test to see if it connects. Okay, if it doesn't connect, then you won't be able to import. Okay, so now the connection is successful. Now I'm importing the data by simply clicking on transfer. Okay, we're gonna wait for the transfer to finish. Okay, it's busy importing data. Okay, it's almost done. Okay, it's finished now. The data has been transferred successfully. Then you click on OK and go on to the last step, which is data extractor. Okay, you tick all these boxes, tick all of them, then you go to the next step. So here it's just showing us what has been imported. Okay, go next. All pervasive data must be imported to prevent problems during the conversion utility steps. Okay, this is just a warning. It's just telling you that you need to make sure that you've imported the data before coming here on Pastel Partner Extractor Utility. Okay, I'm just going to say yes because I've imported my data. Okay, let's see what this warning is about. It says data integrity check is required within Pastel Partner. Customer missing from master file. Okay, so these are just customers that are missing from my master file in this Pastel data that I'm using as a test. So on your data, on your Pastel files, maybe when you do the conversion, you might not get this message. So this is just a warning. I'm just going to continue. Okay, so here we map the general ledger accounts. Okay, so what happens here is you need to make sure that you look at the legends here. Let me just give you an example with the first account, which is sales. Okay, the sales account number range according to my legend should be 100000 up to 199999. Okay, so you must make sure that your sales accounts are within that range. Okay, this range. Okay, which is revenue. Okay. So now, because this is correct, my sales are my revenue, and the range is 1000 to 19999. These accounts here, these account numbers, they fall within that range. So all you need to do, you don't need to fix anything here. You need to just choose the correct account class. Okay, my account class for my sales accounts will be revenue. Okay, you move on to the next one. Cost of sales, a cost of sales and expense. You also look at the legend there. You look at the range. It's 200000 to 499999. So if the Palladium account code is within that range for an expense account, then that's fine. You just choose the correct account class. Okay, in this case, it would be cost of goods sold. You move on to the next one. Other income. Other income is a revenue, it's not an expense, but here it pulled as an expense because you can see the range or the account number that pulled through, it starts with a 2, which is within the expense range. So you need to change what's wrong. You don't need to change the whole account number, but you just change what is not correct. So in this case, my other income is a revenue. My revenue, they should all start with a 1. So that my revenue account should start with number 1. So I'm just going to remove the 2 and put in a 1 instead of 2 and replace the 2 with 1 on all my revenue accounts. Okay. Okay, my account class here, it's other income. I can use other revenue. Okay, my expenses, let's check the legend. My expenses should be within that range, and I can see here they start with a 3, which is still fine. Okay, so you choose the correct account class, which would be expense. Okay, move on to the next one, which is tax. Okay, the tax here, a tax is a liability, but here it pulled through as an expense. Can you see? So you change what is not correct. So in this case, and my tax should start with 9. So I'm going to replace the 4 with 9. Okay, and choose the correct account class. It's liability. A dividend, my dividend is an equity. You check the equity range, it should start with 5, but in this case it pulled through as an expense as well, so you just change what is not right. Okay, so my dividends account class would be dividends, share capital would be share capital, retained income would be retained earnings. Okay, move on to the next one. Long-term borrowings. Okay, long-term borrowings, it's a liability, but here it pulled through as an equity, so you just change what is not right and put in the right figure or the correct number. In this case it would be 9. You can see the check there on the legends. My liability should all start with a 9. Okay, any number as long as it's within that range. Okay. Okay, long-term borrowings. Okay, you can use long-term debts, other long-term liabilities. I can use the same account class. Okay, move on. Fixed assets is an asset and it starts with 6. Yeah, it's correct. You can see there my legend, my asset legend should start with 6 up to 89999. As long as it's within that range, it's correct. So I'm going to choose account class, fixed assets, move on, other fixed assets, can be other assets, investments. So basically on this screen or on this, yeah, on the screen you just map the general ledger accounts. Okay, it's inventory. What's important is that you get the Palladium account number correct. You must know which range a particular account falls under. Okay. Account receivable, other current assets, can use other assets. Bank, bank, payable. Taxation. Okay, this is an asset, so it should start with a 6 or any number as long as it's within the range 60000 to 89999. Okay, so I'm just going to put in a 6 there. Other current assets is other assets. Okay. Looks like there's an account that doesn't have a right account class there, or that doesn't have an account class linked to it. Okay, hence my next button is grayed out. Okay, so if there is an account that doesn't have an account class linked, or an account that didn't have an account number that pulled through automatically, because sometimes it pulls through automatically, like you've seen here. All my account numbers pull through automatically, but sometimes they don't pull through automatically on all the accounts, so you have to put it in manually. Okay, or if the account class is not there, you won't be able to go into the next step. Okay, so in this case my expenses should be within the range. Expense. And now I'm going on to the next step. Next step here, we have to map up the tax codes. Okay, so now I'm mapping up my tax codes, not tax. Use that one. Okay. Okay, here on VAT standard rated, I'm going to use the VAT on sales inclusive. Reason why I'm not using the VAT on sale exclusive, because you can see I've got VAT on sales exclusive, I've got VAT on purchases exclusive, VAT on sales inclusive, and VAT on purchases inclusive, is because if it was exclusive, this box would have been ticked. I don't have to tick it. It would have been ticked, but if you are only using the exclusive, then you can always change it after, or you can do it here on this screen. Okay, so in this case I'm just going to use VAT on sales inclusive and VAT on purchases inclusive. Okay, go on to the next step. Next step, I have to map the terms, payment terms. Okay, it's up to you whether you use the 30 days from invoice or 30 days from statement, or if you have additional payment terms, you can always like add them there. Okay, I'm going to choose the 30 days from invoice. Okay, go on to the next step. Okay, so here I have to map the account sets. Okay, so I'm just going to assign all of these account sets. So now I have to map them. Asset account, use that one, and revenue, so the web development partner. Okay, now I have to go to my services tab to see if there's nothing to map there. Okay, I do have account sets as well. Need to map them. Sorry about that. Here, go on to the next step. Next step is just the customers. Okay, so you can verify if the information that pulled through there is correct. Going on to the next step, and I don't need to do anything here except verifying the details, if all the details pulled through correctly. Then if you're happy, you go on to the next step. Same thing as step 7, but here it's the vendor's information, so you need to check if everything pulled through correctly. If you're happy, you go on to the next step. Okay, here it's the inventory items. Okay, I don't have anything on my items, then you check. If you have inventory items, you check if everything pulled through correctly. And when you're done with that, you go to the services tab to check. So in this case, I don't have any inventory items. I'm gonna go to my services items. Okay, I do have my services items, but the reason why I can't go on to the next step here is because my account sets are not linked to my items. Okay, so you need to link account set to each item. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna choose my account set. I'm just gonna pick, okay, when you choose one account set, it links it to all items. But if your items are linked or should be linked to different account sets, then you will have to do it manually, like one by one. But the first account set you will choose will be linked to all items. Okay? But if any item has to be linked to a different one, you can change it manually, or you can do it after the conversion. Okay? I'm going on to my next step, which is step 10. Here it's just the salespersons. You verify if everything is correct, if all the salespersons that you have in your Pastel data have pulled through there. Then if you're happy, you go on to the next step. Here we import master files. Okay? Importing. Go on to the next step. Okay, the next step is the general ledger transactions. This is very important. Okay, so you have two selections to import. You must first import current and then import history after current. Okay, so I'm gonna go import my current, but before my current transactions can be imported, I need to have linked accounts. Okay, so now I'm gonna link my accounts. Retained earnings, you click on that binocular icon to choose an account. It's retained income. Current earnings, I don't have a current earning account there, so I have to create a new one. Current earning is an equity, so it must be within that range of 50000 to 59999. Okay, so I'm just gonna give it any number. Current earnings. Okay. Okay, default bank would be that. Okay, you choose your default bank here. In currency exchange, you choose a currency exchange account. Go to the next step or next tab, accounts payable. It's the supplier control account, it must go there. Purchase discount would be my discount received. Prepayments would be the same as the accounts payable, be my supplier control account. Additional costs, let's see if I have an additional cost account there. I don't have. I can create a new one. Okay, my additional cost would be my expense, so I'm just gonna give it a code. Receivables, customer control account, sales discount, it's discount allowed. Deposits will go to the same account because it's a, yeah, the deposit is also an asset, so it will go to the same account as an account receivable. Okay, going to the next tab. It's inventory and services. I don't have an item. See if I have item. Inventory cost. Don't have. Okay. Item assembly cost. Sorry. Okay. Adjustment write-off. Let me see if I have adjustment write-off account. Yes, I do. Inventory adjustment, the warehouse. Okay, create a new one. Just call it stock advance. Okay, I need to also link the same accounts in my previous year, otherwise I won't be able to import my current transactions. Retained income, earnings, default bank, right. Okay, now I import my current transactions. Okay, now my current transactions have been imported. I have to now import history. Okay, please make sure that when you get to this step, you don't just import current transactions. You need to also import the history. Okay. Okay, my history has been imported. Now I'll go on to the next step. I import customer invoices. Okay, my customer invoices import is almost done. Okay, it's finished now. We go on to the next step. Import vendor invoices. Okay, my vendor invoices has been imported successfully. I go on to the next step, which is the last one. I tick all these boxes. Okay, here it's just a warning that opening balances to non-stock items won't be imported. So we import. Okay, everything has been imported now. You click on finish. Okay, the utility saved data is not required when the conversion has been completed. Would you like to remove all the utility saved data? I'll say yes, because we are just told there that we don't need it after the conversion has been done successfully. So I'm just going to click on yes. Okay, now it's going to bring up the data integrity screen. Okay, so once the conversion has been done, and you can see your data integrity, you can compare the data integrity that you have on Palladium and the data integrity that you have in your Pastel. Okay, it must be the same because it's the same data. Okay, and close. So after this, you need to also compare the financial reports. Okay, you need to compare the trial balance that you're going to print from Palladium and also the trial balance that you'll print from Pastel, and also the customer aged report, the vendor aged report, and the inventory valuation report. So all those four reports are very important. You need to make sure that they balance. Okay, the Pastel and the Palladium reports must be the same. Like everything has to be the same, and also the data integrity has to be the same. Okay, so our training ends here today. If you've got any questions or if there is something that you don't understand, please forward your email to support@palladium.co.za, or alternatively you can just call us. We will assist you. Thank you.